My parents said they could only love one daughter at once. Our family abandoned us when my mom had cancer. It was the best thing that ever happened to us. When mom was diagnosed, I called every relative with money begging for help with treatment costs. My uncle with his Mercedes collection said we should have planned better. My aunt with the beach house said it wasn't her responsibility. My grandfather, who owned half the commercial real estate downtown, hung up when I started crying. They'd spent years bragging about their money and now they wouldn't even show up. I posted on our neighborhood Facebook page about needing rides to the hospital, and within an hour, our elderly neighbor was at our door with a casserole and a driving schedule she'd already organized. She didn't even know us beyond waving hello. The next morning, 3 strangers showed up to deep clean our house so mom wouldn't get infections. Our landlord reduced our rent without us asking. The lunch lady at my little brother's school started packing extra food for him to bring home. None of these people had money, but they showed up every single day while my rich relatives posted vacation photos from Italy. I watched my mother cry when her hairdresser came to our house to shave her head for free and stayed to hold her while she sobbed. The mechanic fixed our car for free so we could get to treatments. The corner store owner started forgetting to charge us for groceries sometimes. These people were keeping us alive while my family pretended we didn't exist. During mom's second round of chemo, the waiting room became my education in how our city really worked. I met a woman whose son died because the nearest hospital was 40 minutes away. I met a man who lost his house to medical debt even though he worked 3 jobs. Every person had a story about how the system failed them, while rich people like my family built another mall nobody needed. A young organizer was protesting about the closed health clinic and asked if I wanted to help since I was there every day anyway. I started going to city council meetings between mom's treatments and learned that my grandfather's company had lobbied to close the clinic because the land was valuable. The same grandfather who wouldn't give us a penny had stolen healthcare from thousands of people to build luxury apartments. I started keeping a notebook of every story and every injustice. By mom's last treatment, I had 200 pages of reasons to fight back. Mom went into remission after 8 months of hell, and our community threw a party in the park with food everyone had scraped together to buy. My uncle drove by in his Tesla and didn't even slow down. That night, the organizer asked if I'd ever thought about running for mayor since I knew everyone's struggles firsthand now. Within a month, I had 500 volunteers for my campaign, and every single one had a story about being abandoned by the system. The incumbent was my grandfather's golf buddy, who hadn't held a town hall in 6 years. Our campaign money came from bake sales and car washes, while his came from developers wanting to build luxury condos where the food bank stood. We knocked on every door in the district and registered 8,000 new voters who'd given up on the system. The polls showed us ahead by single digits but climbing every week. My volunteers worked 18-hour days because they believed we could actually change things. Mom became our unofficial mascot and survivors would cry when they met her at rallies. We were winning in the polls by 15 points when my grandfather showed up at campaign headquarters with his lawyer. He hadn't spoken to me in 2 years, but now he looked scared. He said if I didn't drop out immediately, he'd evict every single volunteer who lived in one of his buildings. Turns out he owned half the apartment complexes in our district through shell companies nobody knew about. I have 43 of your volunteers on my tenant lists, he said, showing me the papers with names I recognized. Everyone gets 30 days notice tomorrow if you don't concede tonight. I told him that was illegal, but his lawyer laughed and said good luck proving